Hello, welcome to WCBN Sports. I'm back with you from Alumni Field for Game 2 of this doubleheader against Nebraska. An uncharacteristic home loss for the Wolverines struck the court earlier this afternoon. This is their second straight home loss, something that has not happened in a long time. Last season, they only lost one home game total, so to lose two in a row, back-to-back nights, certainly unheard of. With that, we prepared to begin as the Wolverines face off against Nebraska. Obviously, Nebraska batting first, being the visiting team here in Alumni Field. And the Wolverines looking to bounce back from their 3-2 loss earlier this afternoon. This is the first Big Ten game series for both Michigan and Nebraska. Michigan begins their Big Ten play 0-1. And Nebraska begins 1-0. Going into that first game, we saw Olivia Farrell get the win, and then Courtney Wallace get the save, and then the loss went to Alex Storako. So a rare loss for Storako, only her second of the season. Both of them came in the last week, too. So she lost on Wednesday, and now she lost today. A little bit of an uncharacteristic skid because she was known for her consistency in previous seasons. Prior to that, she had 13 straight wins. Still a stellar ERA. Finishes the game only surrendering 2 earned runs and of 1.14 ERA. So not bad by any metrics. However, not quite enough and not enough offense to get her the win. With that, we prepared to begin. We got Billy Andrews leading off once again. Bobian pitching on the circle for the Wolverines. Pitch 1 is in and outside for a ball. Billy Andrews had 0 for 4 on in the first game of this doubleheader from the plate, looking to change that up now. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one's low. 2-0 count, early start for the Huskers. Same uniforms as before. Only got a 90-minute intermission or so between the two games, so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even bother changing out of them. Windup and the pitch. This one's going to be a strike called on the outer edge. 2-1 count. Andrews this season batting .398. She came into the first one batting over .400, but then skid down with 4 straight outs. Wind up and the pitch, 2-1. That's going to be a called strike on the outer corner, same as that second one, 2-2. Bobian looking to get a quick out here. Two count on the mound, wind up, pitch. That is a called ball. So full count now to lead off for Billy Andrews in this one. Handful of walks in last game, including one with the bases loaded, which eventually led to the game-breaking run. Pitch is in, swing and a miss, and Andrews sits down for the 5th time today. So already 1 strikeout, no contact or anything yet off Bobian. Next up, we got Ybarra, also batting second in this one after the first one. She also did not have a great game, going 0 for 4 as well. So both leadoff players went 0 for 4 in the first half of this doubleheader. We have a swing, and this one's foul right on top of the Nebraska dugout over the net, so Michigan had nothing they could do there. Michigan softball playing Nebraska here in Alumni, and Michigan baseball playing Nebraska on the road in Lincoln. Originally, this was supposed to be the only game today. However, they moved it up due to some weather forecast. They erased a one. 0-1 count here to Ybarra. This one's made contact going into right field. Coming on in, getting under it, and that is an out right there. Michigan gets to an early 2 outs here in the top of the first. So now we got Sydney Gray coming up, batting .375, but having some power, 7 home runs already this season. No one on with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. First one is outside and low, 1-0 count. Burkhardt got under that last one in right field, made a great play in the first game, gunning someone out on a single from right. You rarely ever see that, even in the pros. 1-0 pitch comes in for a called strike. It's 1-1 as that one grazed the upper outside corner. Looking at her wrist, here comes the pitch and a swing and a miss. It'll make it 1-2. Beaubien is dealing so far, already with 1 strikeout and a flyout. Comes into this game with a 2.07 ERA. Looking to maybe bring that under 2 with a successful outing. Pitch here, that one was a changeup. No swing, points down to the first base umpire, and they said it did not go far enough, and it wasn't a called strike either. So that'll even it up 2-2 here. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Wind up pitch. This one is lined into right to Burkhardt. So 2 of the 3 outs already were caught by Burkhardt, making her presence known in right field. And Beaubien gets 3 up, 3 down to lead off this game, hoping to get a better result than the last one as Michigan's lineup comes up next. We got the same first 3 as we saw on the upper side of this one. It's we got Blair leading off, followed by Kirsten and then Burkhardt. Blair got 2 hits earlier in this game, earlier today in the first half of this. And those hits would have potentially won, too, because she was scheduled to be on deck when Michigan got into a double play. So if Michigan, even if it were just a strikeout, she could have had a chance to go up to the plate and potentially hit one over and tie it up or win. But unable to get that chance even for Lexi Blair. Still having a phenomenal average so far. She is batting, I think, .319 coming into this game. Pardon me, .329, so even better. Today is League of Their Own night here at Alumni Field. In accordance with that, the fans all got pennants. So, like fun pennants you could hang up in your man cave or in your lounge or in your living room or wherever you'd like, you could hang those up. So if you are close by in Washtenaw County, hurry on over to Alumni Field. Maybe you could grab a pennant if they still have them while supplies last. They look very fancy. And tomorrow there's also a giveaway. They're giving out free blankets. So you could get much Michigan gear celebrating the start of the Big Ten regular season here for Michigan. Courtney Wallace is pitching. We saw her pitch earlier today, so her arm's already warm. She got the save, getting 1 2/3 coming in after the starter gave up some 2 runs. Here's the pitch. First one swung on by Blair to the shortstop, thrown to first. Bang, bang play, and that's going to be an out. Andrews guns it right to Felder in a split second soon enough to send Blair back to the bench. So already 1 pitch and 1 out. Kirsten comes on up, batting 326. 5 home runs on this season. Wind up and the pitch. This one's lined right to the pitcher. Dribbler, ricochet, it's got to be close. Gets the throw, but unable to reel it in as Felder. Great attempt by Andrews. It hit off Wallace's glove, and it proceeded to die in the dirt. Andrews crashed in on it, scooped it up, threw it over, but unable to hang on as Felder. It probably had enough speed and was quick enough. Just like that, we got the manager coming out for Nebraska, checking on the pitcher's arm after that ricochet. It's difficult with these. You don't want to leave any chances, but it seems like she's okay. Quickly returning back to the bench. Courtney shaking it off and getting ready to go. So already, if you include earlier today, she's got in two full innings in this one. That will be a hit, too, because not an error. So even though it did ricochet off of Courtney. Burkhart comes on up. Wind up and the pitch. That's going to be a called strike right down the middle. Kirsten's on first base. Only 1 stolen base attempt. She has not been caught yet this season, however. Only 1 attempt. Hutchins signaling, so maybe we'll see some trickery or something. Wind up and the pitch. This one's low in the dirt. Skips ahead of the batter's box even. But it comes on in. So it's going to be a 1-1 count with 1 out for Burkhart here in the bottom of the first. Wind up pitch. This one hits off the screen on the third base side. Going to advance the count to 1-2 with 1 out here. Here comes Burkhart trying to bounce back from this 1-2 deficit. Here's the pitch. That's awfully close, but they're going to call it a ball. Slightly outside, it looks like. And with that, it'll even it up at 2-2. Burkhart batting .442. No home runs yet this season, but a ton of singles and doubles. Pitch comes in. This one skips in, barely even makes it to the catcher. Riley keeps it in front of her, and it'll make it a full count. Curious to see if Kirsten steals on this one. You sometimes see that with a full count. Checking her wrist is Courtney Wallace. Wind up pitch. This one's fouled on off into the fence, or into the netting rather, on the third base side. Staying alive here. So Burkhart staying alive early in the bottom of the first inning. 1 runner on, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Wind up and the pitch. That one is a little bit shy and a little bit outside. So we'll send her to first base. Michigan already has 2 base runners now. Kirsten advances to second, and Burkhart goes to first. So a big difference from the first inning of last game. Michigan didn't even get a single base runner until the 3rd inning. Carson comes on up. Had a huge hit last game. And made a big play, saving a run at home as well, so doing on both sides. Pitches in, swings, right up the middle, skips off second base. Rounding is Burkhart. Coming in home, it's going to be close, so Kirsten is safe home. Burkhart goes into third, makes a couple steps, goes on back, and Michigan takes an early 1-0 lead off of that double from Carson. That's going to be Carson's 25th of the season RBI. And it's only her 6th double, so not usually much of a double hitter. She got some help, able to advance after the outfielder tried gunning it out at home. Okay, so they're not even going to rule it a double. I stand corrected. It's going to be a single with an advance on the throw. So Carson, even with the 25 RBIs, that's almost exclusively on singles. She only has 5 doubles and 3 home runs. Lauren Essman comes on out with 2 runners in scoring position. Second and third, we got Carson on second, Burt Carter on third. Burt Carter has some speed, 7 stolen bases this season. First pitch is in, swings, blooper into center, and it lands. She will be going, so Burt Carter scores. It's 2-0. Carson holds up at second, so runners at first and second off of that bloop single into center. And Michigan's offense is already more alive than we saw both on Wednesday and earlier today. Already playing the fight song here, not something we got to hear in the first game almost at all, I don't think. Livingston steps up to the plate. She pinch hit earlier. Wind up and the pitch. This is a fast one right at knee level. A little bit low, says the Blue at home. Two on, 1 out here, and we got Livingston batting .375. Wind up and the pitch. This is tipped right up the middle to the shortstop. Can't hang on to it. Tips off her glove. Run comes in. Carson goes home. Essman goes to third, and that is another run. 1 out here in Michigan. Already has 3 runs. This is a Michigan of old we've seen, unlike the past 2 games. Michigan up 3-0 in the first inning. They're calling that a hit, too. So it did tip off Andrews' glove. She was on the move, but unable to reel it in, and it was enough to allow Carson to score. Runners on the corner now. We got Essman at third and Livingston at first. 1 out here. So we got Bump up to the plate. Wind up and the pitch. This is lined to second. Hangs on to it, just goes to first. That will score a run, however. So Essman comes home. Livingston goes to second. However, the batter is out there, so does advance the run and gets the RBI, even though she doesn't get on base. And now it's a 4-0 game already with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Sealer comes up. She did not start last game. She came in after a substitution. First pitch is a fast one, and it's a little bit outside. Ball 1, I believe. So runner on second only. Bases were kind of cleared after earlier. Wind up in the pitch. Check swing. They say she did not go, pointed over to the third base umpire. So it's going to be a 2-0 count here for Sealer. Already 4 earned runs off of Courtney Wallace. She did not even surrender any last game when she got the save. Pitches in. This one is a called strike inside corner of the zone. It's going to be 2-1 with 2 outs here. Yeah, so 4 hits, 4 runs, and all four of them earned, in addition to a walk, just in the bottom of the first inning alone. Wind up pitch. Fouled off into the backstop. Almost ricocheted and hit Sealer while she wasn't looking off of the netting, but she barely missed it, and she'll go back into the batter's box with a 2-2 count. So 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner on second. Michigan up 4-0. Here's the pitch right to the pitcher. Wallace tosses it over to Felder, plenty of time, and that'll be out number 3 as we head into the top of the second inning. This game is on Fox Sports, so we appreciate everyone who tuned in to us despite the other options today. Also, due to it being on Fox Sports, this each inning or each half inning is going to have a 2-minute intermission. Usually it's 90 seconds or so. So this might be a little bit longer game than usual. But at this rate, we might see a mercy. I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm knocking on wood. We have Leah here to attest to that. But 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Stark difference from the offense we saw last game. Michigan really struggled to get that engine going. By the time they did, it was just too little too late. And even with Storako pitching a complete game, giving up 3 runs, just not enough run support from the Wolverines. Already have enough for that. So curious how long Nebraska is going to keep in Courtney, both coming off the save earlier and already surrendering 4 earned runs. It's not, would be curious to see how they do this with this 3-game series. This is the second game. So Michigan and Nebraska both don't have to worry too much about pitching with them already 2 games into it. So the game tomorrow is currently scheduled to begin at 2, but stay tuned to WCBN. If we end up adjusting that whatsoever, we'll keep you updated. And no game on Sunday as originally scheduled due to the temperatures. The forecast is not looking too great. It says, according to my handy iPhone app, it's supposed to be 24 degrees. 17 low on Sunday, so a little bit too shy. If it's below freezing, I know it's Michigan and it's late March, but I don't know if that's suitable for softball out here. So now coming up, we got Felder, the first baseman. Back to the line is Bobian. Back to the circle, excuse me. Wind up in a pitch. This one is hit down the line. It's going to land just barely fair. Great cutoff by Burkhart, though. Quickly gets it in. Potentially saves a base or 2, making an elite play. That barely grazed in fair territory hit a couple of millimeters shy of the line. But just enough, and now already got a hit of the game so far. 1 runner on as Squire comes to the plate. No outs here. Playing in are the corners. Center's playing out. This one's hit right up the middle to center. Trying to throw it in as Blair, but hangs on to it. Had a shot if she would have gotten a jump to maybe get the force out at second, but the positioning wasn't great. So with that, 2 straight hits open off the top of the second here. Michigan infield and catcher comes to the circle. And just discussing the momentum and trying to get this back under control. It's no outs here with runners on first and second. 2 pitches alone. Felder is not much of a base stealer. No attempts yet this season. Squire is a little bit better. 3 attempts and safe on 2 of them. Gladder comes up to the plate. The left-hander, Junior, has 6 RBIs, only 1 home run, batting .200 flat. Pitches in, change up, and it's high. Ball 1. Wind is starting to pick up a little bit. I can feel it in the stadium coming in. And we got Hutchins coming on out. So they just had a powwow with the infield, but now Hutchins is talking to the pitcher. Probably trying to preserve this lead. Got a ton of run support in the top of the first. Don't want to surrender that now. Lots of fans coming out to this game. Probably about 150 or 200 in the grandstands behind home plate, and then probably another 50 or so out in the bleachers in the outfield. People bundling up. It is chillier than it was, and the sun did go away. So with that, Hutchins, the winningest coach of all time in college softball history, returns to the dugout, and we return to play. Wind up and the pitch, 1-0. This one's hit high into the air, into center. Blair gets under it, catches it, immediately guns it in. No base movement, 1 out here. So talk about pitching efficiency. Bobian is being very efficient, whether it's giving up a hit or getting a quick out. But she's not drawing out a full count like we saw earlier today with Storako sometimes. Bredwell comes up to the plate. Got a home run earlier in the game, and that proved to be the winner. 2-run shot just down the line and left. Here's a pitch. Change up right down the middle. I'm sure she wanted that one back. 0-1 count. Already seeing someone warm up in the Nebraska bullpen. As I mentioned in game 1, you could see that someone's warming up, but you can't quite tell what the number is. Pitch 2's in. It's a bit outside, 1-1 count. You can see their visor, so you can see someone's there, but that's about it. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here. 2 runners on, first and second. Pitch is in. That's not going to get the nod. Bit high. 2-1 count. We got still another game going on across the diamond as we get a windup and a pitch on a 2-1 count. That's going to be a called strike, 2-2 right down the middle. Over at Fisher, I believe I was asking in between the games, it is Dearborn is playing there. Came a little bit of a half-hour drive, Dearborn's team. Windup and the pitch. Swing, and this one is in the gap, and it's going to go into center field. Holding up at third, and bases will be loaded. So 1 out here, and Bredwell advances, but unable to score anyone. Felder holds up at third base. With that, Neal comes up with the bases loaded. Already has 3 hits in this inning, and only 1 out. Hoping to maybe chip away at the lead that Michigan built up in the first inning. Caitlin Neal is at the plate. Pitch 1 low and inside. Had some speed to it. One 0 count. Beaubien preparing, looking at her wrist. Wind up and the pitch. And that's going to be another ball, just barely too low. So 2 balls, both of them low, one on the inside corner, other on the outside corner. Neal trying to get on base here. Michigan in the first game walked in a run, hoping to avoid that here with bases loaded. Pitch, this one's fouled up over the net into the stands. Luckily, no one in that region of the stands. It's going to bring up the count to 2-1. We got Neal batting .235 coming into this one. No home runs. However, she does have 1 double and 1 triple. Here's a pitch. This one's tipped up the middle. Tosses over second. Unable to flip to first, and that will bring in a run. So McVeigh flips it to Kirsten. Kirsten looks to throw it, but hangs on to it. It is now 4-1 with Nebraska chipping away at Michigan's lead. Neal, that is a fielder's choice, but it will be an RBI. Does bring up 2 outs, however, as Michigan looking to get out of this without any further damage. Courtney Wallace is up, the pitcher in the first inning. Stolen base, throws to second. It's going to be close. Gets in under it. And there we got Neal, her second stolen base this season, coming into second. So we got 2 in scoring position right now. Michigan unable to get the force at second anymore, but it is 2 outs, so just flip it over to first base. Michigan trying to avoid giving up any more runs in this one. Wind up and the pitch. That one is low and outside, evens the count at 1-1. Beaubien looking at the dugout for a moment. Nods her head, steps back on the rubber, checks her wrists, and gets ready to wind on up. Leans back, rocks forward, throws it in, swing, and that one's tipped right into the net on the first base side. Heads up play by Aisman. Catches it off of the fly, off the net. That's sometimes difficult to do with how unpredictable it could ricochet. But regardless, it will be 1-2 here for Wallace with 2 outs. Michigan 1 pitch of getting out of the jam, only surrendering 1 run. Wind up and the pitch. This is going to be slightly outside. Evens it up at 2-2. The Nebraska dugout is getting loud here. Not a ton of Nebraska fans, probably a dozen or so if I had to estimate, wearing red and white. Guess technically red and cream are their official colors. Beaubien looking to get out of this jam. 2 balls, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Strike 3. She's rung up. Beaubien with her second strikeout of the day. 2 runners left on base. 1 run scored. 3 hits and no errors. Michigan gets out of the jam, only surrendering 1 run. Still up 4-1 going in the bottom of the second. So we'd appreciate you tuning in to us this afternoon to WCBN Sports. We will cover tomorrow's game 2, which they're giving away blankets. So anyone in the Washtenaw County area who wants to come support the Wolverines and get a blanket. It's supposed to be a little bit chilly, so I'm sure a lot of fans will be making use of those blankets tomorrow. Apparently, there's a 40% chance of snow tomorrow. So, yes, a lot of blanket usage. It's supposed to rain later tonight, too, starting at 8:30 is what I have. So, depending on how quickly this game could get in, maybe they could avoid that. A long rain delay on Wednesday night for the Wolverines. Got most of the game in, got just barely 6. And then went to over 2-hour rain delay, had a rally after, but just not enough. And with that, Michigan fell 7-3 to Miami of Ohio. And they fell earlier today, too. So 2 straight losses at home, uncharacteristic of Michigan's team in recent years. So we have returning back to the circle is Courtney Wallace, already surrendered 4 runs. I have a feeling she might not have that big of a leash with a pitcher coming out of the pen and returning to the dugout here. This is the opening night of the Big Ten play for Michigan and Nebraska. Michigan has won 3 straight regular season Big Ten titles. So hoping to extend that to 4 straight this season. They are 13th ranked so far, but I imagine with the loss today and Wednesday, they might fall a little bit. McVeigh comes on up. She's the 9-hitter, but Michigan got through the first 8 in the bottom of the second. Wind up in the pitch. A little bit of a run up. Ends up not swinging. Ball 1. McVeigh got pinch hit for earlier today, but she was 0 for 1 in the at-bat she did have. Okay, here's the pitch, and this one is going to be low and inside, it looks like. 2-0 count for McVeigh. The freshman was playing outfield earlier, but also shortstop. It's a little bit of everything. Pardon me, second base and shortstop. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one is tipped. Line drive straight to the dugout and luckily avoids any players in Nebraska's dugout there. Wallace is throwing the heat today, so all Michigan players have been pretty behind on it. They were behind on it earlier when she got the save. Wind up and the pitch. That one's low. It's going to be 3-1 count. Skips into the catcher's glove. Huskers have corners in and the middle of the infield playing about normal depth. McVeigh is batting .302 this season, but not much power. No home runs. Here's a pitch, and that's going to be a ball or strike called. A little bit of a delay. Full count. So it's going to go full now. McVeigh has 2 doubles, but that's it. The rest are all singles out of her 16 hits. So no wonder the infield's playing a little bit in. Here's the swing, and this one's tipped foul right over by Coach Hutchins in the third base coach box. Count is going to remain full with 0 outs here as Michigan's looking to extend to their offensive prowess in the first inning. They already found a way to get to Courtney Wallace, getting 4 hits already and 4 runs. Full count. Wallace rocks back, throws a pitch. This one's tipped, barely goes out of play. That's going to remain full, so second straight foul tip there. Looked like it might stay fair for a moment there, but just barely bounced out of play. Unfortunate for McVeigh. She probably could have gunned that one out and been safe at first base. Has some speed. She has 7 stolen bases this season. Taking her time to get back in the box. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one's hit right to the pitcher. Short toss over to Felder. That'll be out number 1. Heads up play from Wallace, able to scoop that up. In the first inning, not quite as fortunate. It ricocheted off of her. Gave up a hit. So 1 out here as we get the top of the order. Blair coming back up. She grounded out to shortstop in the first inning. Got a wind up here. Throw. This one's going to be a little bit hot. They call it strike. Grazes the upper end of the zone. Blair's been a dominant leadoff hitter this season, batting .325 and just a phenomenal presence in the dugout. Pitch is in, and that one's going to be a called ball, even it out at 1-1. 2 home runs only for Blair, but 11 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and 6 walks this season. Wind up and the pitch. And that one's going to be another ball. Barely stays off the dirt, but way too low for a called strike. 2-1 count here with 1 out and no one on. Michigan in the bottom of the second leads 4-1. Taking her time, Courtney looks at her wrist. Rocks back, throws, and let's see if she went. She did not, but it will be a called strike, evening it up at 2-2. So Michigan, 1 out here, looking to make something happen and continue off that first inning magic. 4 runs already. With the forecast of it's supposed to rain. Pitches in, swing and a miss. That'll be strike 3 for Blair. High fastball and got her chasing. Sends her back to the dugout. We got Kirsten coming up with 2 outs. She got a single already today and was eventually scored on that at bat. Kirsten batting .340, second on the team, only behind Burkhardt with a .440 batting average. Wind up and the pitch. This runs a bloop right to the pitcher, scoops it up, and there you go. So it was all done in this third inning. 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 errors, and 0 runners left on base. Courtney Wallace did it all. Got 2 ground outs that she tossed over to first, and then the third out was a strikeout. Michigan leading 4-1, but unable to put anything up in the bottom of the second there. So it looks like the team at Fisher Field finished on up. So they just concluded. They did the thing where they like shake hands in the middle of the field. And just meeting at the clubhouse now. Michigan's men's baseball team, the Ann Arbor campus, they're playing in Lincoln right now for a 3-game series, looking to begin their Big Ten play. I believe Big Ten Network is having tonight's game and I want to say Sunday's game as well on that one. So celebrating the start of Big Ten play with Michigan. Michigan's offense for baseball has looked really strong this season, but their relief pitching especially has not provided the support. Already lost 6 games this season where they were leading going into 9. So not the way you want to play. Relief pitchers can't get a save to save their life pretty much. But putting up good offensive numbers, though. So we go into the top of the third. Got to stick with Beaubien. Coming up for Nebraska is going to be Andrews, top of the order. She got strike out in the first inning. 25 seconds left, a little bit of an extended clock now due to Fox Sports carrying this game. Appreciate our listeners tuning into WCBN, even though this is on a national cable, basic cable network. We will be bringing the game tomorrow to you at 2, so tune into that. I believe that's only on BTN Plus, so if you want to tune in for free, you could come through our feed on WCBN, Twitter account or YouTube. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a wind, and it's going to be a low ball. 1-0 count for Andrews, trying to bounce back after a strikeout in the first inning. In the circle, Beaubien winds up in the pitch. Fastball down low at knee height. Not going to be enough for the home plate umpire. 2-0 count. Andrews was 0 for 4 in game 1, and she struck out in the top of this first inning as well. So 0 for 5 today, cumulatively. Wind up and the pitch. This one's going to be a called strike on the outside corner. Andrews has yet to get the bat off her shoulder this plate appearance. 2-1 count, wind up, and the pitch. This one's fouled back beyond the backstop, beyond the, almost hits the train tracks back there now. So it's going to be 2-2 even up after that foul ball. Michigan looking to get a quick third inning rather. Beaubien rocks back and throws it. This one shot deep into right field and it over the fence. Billy Andrews breaks out of today's slump after starting 0-5 between the two games. Hits a blast over the right fielder's head. Andrews, that extends her season to 17 home runs and 36 RBIs. Not too many fans in the right field bleachers, but one of them, I guess, will be getting a proverbial souvenir. In collegiate play, you don't get a walk home with the softballs, but it did hit the bleachers, and this makes it a 2-run ball game. So we got Ybarra coming up to the plate now. Cornhuskers bringing it within 2. Ybarra is 0 for 5 today between the two games. Here's a pitch. That one's way too high from Beaubien. That does not do too well for Beaubien's ERA. 50.2 innings pitched, and she now has surrendered 17 earned runs this season. Wind up and the pitch. That one's high. Ball 2. One thing Beaubien is very dominant at is not surrendering walks. Only 15 on the season so far. Looking at her wrist, stepping back and throwing. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 1, 2-1 count. Ybarra, on the other hand, not quite as much of a power hitter as Andrews. Has only 4 on the season. However, does have quite a bit of RBIs with 20, so some of the smaller base hits. Pitches in. This one's fouled back over onto the train tracks. We got the wind beginning to pick on up. See the flag waving in center field, going from the third baseline all the way to right. So it might carry, that might have helped in the home run earlier. Third pitch is in, and it's a ball, ball 3. 3-2 count now, it's full. Beaubien looking to try and get out of this. Wind up and the pitch. This one is blast, same exact spot, and that is gone. Wow. So we had Andrews and Ybarra back-to-back, same exact spot, and it's now a 1-run ball game. Full count right there. throwing the high cheese, and Ybarra made her pay right into the bleachers, and that is demoralizing for the Michigan faithful in attendance here. Beaubien was a really dominant pitcher last season. However, a bit of a rocky performance today. Nebraska looking to win their second game of the series after winning earlier today. Here we got Coach Hutchins coming on out to the circle, trying to get the team no outs here in the top of the third, and already 2 hits and 2 home runs. So Beaubien's coming on out. So that was a quick substitution. We got Durkowski coming in, the freshman right-handed pitcher, trying to maybe salvage this game. Michigan put up the run support early, but it's still a close one now with 3 runs already surrendered. Durkowski going to do a couple of warm-up pitches as Sydney Gray prepares to come to the plate. She had a line out to right field in the first inning. So far this season, Durkowski only 19.1 innings pitched, so not a ton. However, does have a pretty solid ERA with a 2.53. Looking to get this game back under control, throwing some speed already from the warm-up pitches. With that, it'll be it. Team is going to huddle up for a moment. Then coming back into the box is Gray. So now Michigan is trying to get this game back in control after taking an early lead, surrendering 2 back-to-back home runs, so pretty much the same exact spot, too. Michigan trying to make any adjustment here that they can. Gray's batting .371 with 7 home runs. Probably not the sight that Michigan fans like to see after those last 2. Pitches in, it's low. Gonna be ball 1. Looking at her wrist, we have the right-handed pitcher now coming in after Beaubien. Fastball right down the middle, swing and a miss from Gray. 1-1 count. So we got the new pitcher trying to get the game under control. No outs so far, but it's a 1-1 count. This one is swung on and hit foul down the right field line into Michigan's bullpen. It's going to make the count 1-2. Michigan, this would be huge. Should even this up, even the series up with a win today, but it's not going to come easy. Wind up in a pitch, strike 3, a swing and a miss. Already coming straight out of the bullpen and firing hard, and Michigan gets back in control with Durkowski. Durkowski gets her first strikeout, obviously, after coming in. 3rd between her and Beaubien combined. Felder's at the plate now. She's 1 for 1 today with a single and eventually scoring in the 2nd inning. She has a phenomenal batting average, batting .420 this season. First pitch is in for a strike 1, swing and a miss. Here's the windup for 2. That one's going to be a called strike down low, so quickly an 0-2 hole for Felder. And Durkowski's getting into the groove. Checking her wrist right now. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one's high and outside. Gonna make it a 1-2 count as Durkowski looks to get another quick out and get out of this inning potentially. 1 out here. No runners on base. Looking at home, wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss. That was a great off-speed one. And that's a second straight strikeout for Durkowski. Her pitch repertoire is proving very strong. Able to mix it up and get the Huskers chasing, at least for now. Squire comes up to the plate. She also got a hit earlier today. Single, but eventually stranded on third. Wind up in a pitch. That's going to be a strike right down the middle. 2 outs here, nobody on. Squire looking down at her wrist. Taking her time. Wind up and the pitch. That one's a riser and it goes a little bit too high. Gonna be a 1-1 count here. Squire's up at the plate. Batting .341 this season, including 4 home runs. Wind up and a pitch. That one's a changeup and a called strike. Took some time from the home plate blue, but eventually got the call they were looking for the Wolverines. It's a 1-2 count with 2 outs here. 1 pitch away from striking out the side from Durkowski coming out of the bullpen. Wind up and the pitch. That one is lined into right field and caught by Burkhart. Barely had to move, and that'll close out the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, 0 errors, and 0 runners left on base after 2 quick home runs. That gave Michigan some deja vu. Durkowski came in off the bench and was able to get it back under control. However, it is a 3-4 ball game, so Michigan's lead is not quite as dominant as it once was. So going into the bottom of the third, Michigan hoping to put some run support back up and extend their lead, provide some cushion. Earlier today, Michigan hockey played against American International. They were the 1 seed, so American International the 16 coming into this the hockey postseason. And Michigan ended up winning 5-3, and they will play for the regional title on Sunday, hoping to advance to the Frozen Four, which is in Boston, Massachusetts this season. Michigan, it's been a pretty crazy week for all of Michigan athletics here, with Michigan's men's team playing in the Sweet 16, Michigan's women's team playing tomorrow in the Sweet 16 at 6:30 against the South Dakota Coyotes in Wichita. Michigan has an attendance that travels, but I feel like South Dakota's a little bit closer than Ann Arbor to Wichita, Kansas. If they advance to the Final Four, WCBN will plan on covering that one, but unfortunately don't quite have the operations to send a crew to Wichita this weekend. Pretty tapped out with softball and baseball and men's basketball coverage earlier. So with that, we're concluded with the intermission. We got Michigan's best batter by average, Burkhart, coming up after getting the third out at the top of the inning. She now comes up to the plate in the bottom, batting .442 this season. No home runs, but 19 RBIs. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one's grounded over to first base. It's going to be a foot race for the bag, and it's won by Felder, so that'll be out number 1, as on the first pitch, Burkhart goes right back to the dugout. Carson's up next. In the first inning, Carson got a single, RBI single, and eventually was scored herself on that one. Looking to maybe get that spark going. No one on here but 1 out as Carson steps to the plate. Wind up. This one's tipped shallowly down third, quickly scooped up by Gray and thrown to first. That'll be out number 2. So Nebraska had some infield trouble last game, giving up 2 errors, but now they've looked phenomenal so far through 3. Bottom of the third, 2 outs here as Eisman comes up to the plate. Batting .319 with 3 home runs. Eisman at the plate looking to get a 2-out rally going. Wind up in a pitch. It's going to be inside for a called ball. No one on. Infield playing about mid-distance, maybe a little bit slightly further back. Wind is still blowing from third base line to right. Swing and a miss from Eisman. Strike 1. Probably makes sense why both of the home runs carried so much with the wind going that way. Both of them went to the right field bleachers, and the wind is blowing right there. Wind up and the pitch. That one's going to bounce on in to the catcher, 2-1. Michigan leading 4-3, but they've been pretty dormant after the dominant first inning, and the reverse has been true for Nebraska with 2 home runs. Wind up in a pitch, swing and a miss, 2-2 count. Courtney Wallace struggled in the first inning, but has been pretty composed since then, not giving up a hit in the second and so far in the third inning either. Here's the windup and the pitch. And this one's barely tipped, and they're going to call it foul after hitting off home plate. So it'll be 2-2 still. Count will not change. Three and 4, Michigan is leading with a 2-2 count and 2 outs. Nobody on. Eisman is up, wind up, and the pitch fouled off right down the third base line. It's off the backstop. Michigan keeping their at-bat alive and the inning alive for that matter, too. Hutchins is at the third base coach's box talking to her batter. Wind up in the pitch. That one's high. Got to make it a full count now. Full count, 3-2. Michigan trying to get a 2-out rally going, even if it involves a walk. Only 1 walk surrendered so far by Courtney Wallace. No walks in the first half of this doubleheader. Pitches in, tipped, and a swing and a miss right into the glove. And that'll be strikeout and out number 3. So at the end of 3, Michigan leads 4-3. Into the third, Michigan gets no runs, no hits, no runners left on base, and no errors surrendered. So a whole lot of nothing that last inning. So we got Jerkowski coming back out after that phenomenal relief performance. So we go into the top of the 4th. Beginning to drizzle a little bit, but shouldn't be enough to delay or cancel the game. At least at the moment. Appreciate everyone tuning in on this Friday evening. Can't think of a place I'd rather be right now than Alumni Field under the lights. And fortunately, I'm in the warm, heated press box and not out in the cold. That makes it even better. We got all these clips on the Jumbotron in Alumni Field showcasing some of Michigan's, I guess in accordance with like League of Their Own night. And it's Women's History Month, showing some of that up on the Jumbotron. Giving away different pennants. So if you're a fan of pennants, I'm sure you could ask someone who went to the game and maybe ask them if you could use it or buy one on eBay or something. Jerkowski is really dealing here, throwing the heat in the warm-up pitches. I'm kind of curious because at Fisher on the scoreboard they have a sign that has the pitch speed, but I at least am not aware of that at Alumni Field. If they do have it, would be intrigued to see how fast some of these pitchers get up to. So with that, it's going to end the intermission. Coming up to the base, coming up to the plate rather, is Glatter. 0 for 1 today with a fly out to center in the second inning. Michigan looking to keep this lead and not surrender any more here in the top of the fourth. So we got Glatter coming up to the plate to lead off this fourth inning. Jerkowski already with 2 strikeouts and 3 batters faced. Pitches in. That's a little bit high. Ball 1. Glatter is batting under 200 this season. 197 is what she's at. Wind up in a pitch. This one's going to be low for a ball 2. We got the Nebraska bench pretty loud, but the fans are pretty quiet at the moment. I think those 2 home runs kind of took the wind out of the sails of the Michigan fans. Here's the pitch, 2-0. It's in for a strike. 2-1 at the moment. Jerkowski trying to fight back from that 2-0 deficit to lead off the at-bat. Glatter is up at the plate now, 2-1 count. That one's a slow one, and it's a called strike. Jerkowski has been a master of mixing up the pitch speed this game. That's how she got both of the strikeouts already, and it looks like she might be on her way to a third one. 2-2 count. Jerkowski in the circle. Steps back, throws, and a fastball, and that's a little bit outside. That looked good from up here. Awfully close. But that's what I'm talking about, mixing up the speed. It was a huge changeup, and immediately follow that by a full-speed fastball. Showing bunt here. Here's a pitch, and that's going to be ball 4 and a walk. So first walk for Jerkowski, and I believe first walk by either of Michigan's pitchers so far today. So no outs here in the top of the fourth, and Michigan gives up a base runner. Let's see if there's a pinch runner. And it looks like it will be a pinch runner. Let me see who's coming on out. Number 33, which is Annie Raleigh is coming on out to pinch run. Ava Breadwell is at the plate. Had a single earlier in this game. This first pitch is swung on and hit in the air, and it's caught by Burkhart. She's doing everything from right field, both in this game and in the first one in the doubleheader. Had a pretty awesome highlight. We might see that on ESPN later tonight, gunning out a player from first on a single. You used to occasionally see that in the MLB with players like Ichiro. He used to do that occasionally. It was always a huge highlight. Guess it's a little bit easier in softball with the base path a little bit smaller. Wind up and a pitch. And that's going to be a called strike for Caitlin Neal. It's 0-1 count here. In the circle, Michigan looking to get a second out. Showed bunt, goes forward, tips it, but it goes foul, so 2 strikes here. And Michigan's infield was right over that, crashing on in. Checking her wrist is Durkowski, looking to maybe get a strikeout here and add to her count. Pitches in, a little bit outside. So it's now 1-2 as Neal is looking to stay alive and Durkowski is looking to get a second out of the inning. Corners are playing in, middle infield playing out. 1-2, here's the windup and the pitch, and that's high. Ball 2, it's evened up at 2-2. Checking her wrist. Once again, Durkowski looking for a play. Rocks back, throws forward, strike 3, and she'll be going to the bench. Third strikeout in the 5th batter faced by Durkowski. She's being incredibly efficient so far. So 2 outs now. Runner still on first with Raleigh being the pinch runner. Either first or second will do the trick here. Courtney Wallace, the pitcher, is up. Here's a windup. This one's high and outside. Gonna be ball 1. Durkowski's doing a phenomenal job of mixing up the pitches. Sun is beginning to set in Ann Arbor. Doesn't help that it's been super cloudy all afternoon. Got some unfavorable forecasts later. Pitches in, grounder up the middle, tosses from Kirsten to McVeigh for the out, and that'll be 3. Michigan gets out of another one without scoring a run, surrendering a run from Durkowski. 2 innings pitched, no hits, no runs. So into the middle of the 3rd inning, Michigan still leads, but it's still a narrow one. Not much of a cushion, looking to add to it now in the bottom of the 4th. Here with WCBN Radio. So Michigan's team is all out of the dugout, meeting right in between the baseline and the dugout. Those tuning in, I hope everyone has a good start to their weekend. I just remembered it is, in fact, Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure many of the listeners are probably in the same boat. Going to watch some Michigan baseball this weekend, and I'll be back here at Alumni at 2 p.m. tomorrow, broadcasting. I believe Kellen Flynn will be joining me. So tune in for that. Kellen has a lot more coverage experience this season. He went down to Tampa earlier this year to cover the tournament earlier. And he's done a couple of other home games. So as we go into the bottom of the 4th, Michigan has a 4-3 lead. And we have coming up to the plate is Livingston. Will lead off for the Wolverines. She's 1 for 1 today with a RBI single in the 1st inning. But since then, that's all she's had so far. Courtney Wallace really struggled in the bottom of the 1st, but got it under control in the 2nd and the 3rd. I'm curious if she'll be able to hang on. That would be a coup by Nebraska if they're able to get more innings out of her, especially after coming in for the save earlier today. Forecast on my phone, it says 47 degrees, and it's supposed to start raining in 31 minutes heavily, so it's kind of drizzled on and off. But hopefully, for both teams' sake, they can get this one quick before the rain starts coming. Time called by the home plate umpire as Livingston steps out of the box, talks to Coach Hutch. Some words exchanged now between the home plate umpire and Coach Hutchins. Finally returns to play as Livingston prepares to get back in play. She is batting .400 this season. First pitch is in, and it's a strike called 0-1. Livingston looking to add to her .400 batting average. 500 OBP. That is quite phenomenal. Here's a pitch. It's in and low, so going to be a ball, 1-1 count. We got the cherry picker in center with the Fox Sports camera, a camera behind home plate as well. Wind up and the pitch. This one's going to be a called strike, 1-2 for Livingston. Only 25 at-bats this season, but 10 hits during that time. The OBP's been even better. Turning back to the rubber is Courtney Wallace, checking her wrist, stepping back and throwing. This one's bloop right towards third, scooped up by the shortstop, thrown to first for the out, and that will be one here in the bottom of the fourth as Livingston returns to the bench. Bump heads up to the plate now. She had a ground out in the first inning, but it did score an RBI. Taylor Bump batting just a tad over 200 this season. Wind up and the pitch. That one's going to be a ball a little bit outside. Michigan looking to add some cushion here in the bottom of the fourth. Had a really dominant first inning, but been completely silent ever since. Wind up and a pitch. That's going to be a called strike, 1-1. Wallace is making quite work of the Michigan offense here by taking her time, mixing things up, getting ready for her pitch, slowing down the pace and controlling the pace of play and the momentum. 1-1 count. Here's a pitch. That's going to be low and a ball, right at kneecap level, but it looked like not quite high enough. Okay, 2-1 count here for Bump at the plate against Wallace. One out and no one on. Wind up and the pitch. This one is fouled right over my head, and you could probably hear that on the radio hit the roof of the press box. Evens up the count at 2-2 with one out here. Been an exciting week for Michigan athletics, hoping to keep it continuing with a win here. Pitches in, bloop, down the third base line, goes foul, and it will remain 2-2. Bump was a little bit confused what happened. She was running so hard towards first, she didn't realize that it went foul. There we go. It's 2-2 with one out. No one on. Bump fouling a couple off and surviving this at bat, chipping away at Wallace. Wind up in the pitch. This one's low and outside to make the count full. Really bringing up the pitch count here. Wallace is already at 46 this game alone. Plus she got 25 in the first game when she came in and got the save. So a little bit, I guess you could do that with a doubleheader with only a 90-minute intermission. Pitches in, skips on its way over to the catcher. That's going to be ball 4. It's going to be the second walk surrendered by Courtney Wallace today. One out, one on. As Bump goes towards first base. Ellie Sealer comes on up. Had a ground out straight to close out the third out of the first inning. Ground out straight to the pitcher from Wallace. Here's a windup and the pitch. That one's going to be low. Ball 1. Sealer is batting 158 today. Here's the pitch. 1-0 count, and that's going to be low and outside. Ball 2 for Sealer. No real movement from Bump. She has yet to even attempt a stolen base this season. And here we got the pitching coach coming on out. I don't think this will be a substitution quite yet, just making sure. 1 out so far. Michigan's bench is starting to sing and chant "Pump It Up" here. That's their go-to song. It's a football team's go-to song, too. Kind of appropriated from the football team to all the other Michigan athletics. We see the women's basketball and the men's basketball use it. See softball right now. I haven't been to I'm not much of a hockey guy. I haven't been to a game at Yost, but I wouldn't be surprised if they sing it there too. Pitching coach returns back to the dugout for Nebraska. This will put Sealer back into the batter's box. 2-0 count with 1 runner on and 1 out. Wind up and the pitch. This one's a liner right to second. Could be 2. Flips to second. Throws to first. It's going to be close. Not quite enough. So fielder's choice there for Sealer. Bump is going to be out at second, but the throw was not quite fast enough. And Sealer will take her place on first base. 2 outs now. As we go to McVeigh, the bottom of the order, has a ground out right to the pitcher in the second inning, but that's it so far. Batting .296, so she's been bouncing up and down between the 300 mark during the doubleheader tonight. Wind up and the pitch, and that's in the dirt. It's going to skip to the side, and that's going to allow Sealer to advance. So I don't know if that's going to be a steal or a wild pitch, but regardless, Sealer is on second now and in scoring position with 2 outs. So Hutchins is talking to the umpire, looking to make a substitution here. I'm curious if it's a pinch runner or a pinch hitter, but I would imagine a pinch runner. That's Sealer's second stolen base of the season. Only 2 attempts, so very selective about when she goes. And with that, it's a pinch hitter, so not even a pinch runner, coming up to the plate. Instead, it's going to be number 5 for the Wolverines, Kaylee Rodriguez. Interesting to kind of see a mid-at-bat pinch hit, but it does happen occasionally. So Sealer's got to remain at second. I'm a little bit surprised with that move, but I guess now with a runner in scoring position, it kind of changes the calculus and how you handle this. So there we go. Kaylee America Rodriguez. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike 1 called. So 1-1 count. She came in with a 1-0 count. So the count does hold even when you do a mid-at-bat pinch hit. Rodriguez only 12 at-bats this season, batting .167. Here's a pitch, fouled off into the net. It's going to be 1-2 very quickly. Rodriguez does have a home run, though, so only 2 hits. Half of them are home runs, so I guess that's a great percentage. Takes a step out of the box, finally steps back in. Wallace in the zone, throws. That's going to be a little bit low, 2-2. With 2 outs, runner on second here. 167 batting average for Rodriguez. 3 RBIs, however, this season, and 3 stolen bases. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and that'll be strike 3. Wallace gets her 3rd strikeout of the game so far. Had a couple other puzzling move right there to put in the pinch hitter. Didn't seem to pay off for the Wolverines. So there we go. Into the 4th inning. Michigan still leads, but unable to add to it since the 1st inning. So we go into the top of the 4th. or top of the fifth, rather. Showing different clips for Women's History Month on the Jumbotron. This one's about the Equal Rights Amendment. I'm curious if there's any Michigan connection to that from the video. So we go into the top of the fifth. Michigan leading 4-3. So it's been a close one, but Michigan has maintained the lead for the entire game. As we go into the fifth, got Andrews coming up to the plate to lead off. She had a home run in the third, so kind of nervous if you're Michigan's team, but they do have a new pitcher now with Jerkowski. She came in from the bullpen 2 innings ago and has yet to surrender a hit or a run, and only one base runner, and that came on a walk. So she has been quite dominant so far. See if she can maintain it here in the top of the fifth. So we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. We got more coverage coming up tomorrow, and we also will be doing some other games next week, depending on how some of the hockey and women's basketball postseason shakes up. We might cover some of those road games, but we'll definitely be doing a home baseball game against Oakland on Wednesday, and then a home softball game on Tuesday versus Bowling Green. This is a midweek bat sports coming your way. Andrews in the batter's box. First pitch is in, a fast one down low, going to be a called ball. Andrews batting .400, including 17 home runs, one of which came in the third inning today. Just hit a blast all the way into the grandstands. Wind has died down since then, so I don't know if that'll be a factor. Pitch 2, it's also fast and also low, but this time it's inside. Ball 2. So we got Jerkowski trying to get under control. The catcher's coming on out. Pursley hands the ball and gives a little bit of a pep talk. Got third baseman and shortstop Bumpin' McVeigh coming in too to discuss. Exchanging some high fives as well. And with that, we'll get back to the play. But now Andrews steps out of the box. Finally stepping back in. 2-0 count for Andrews with no outs here in the top of the fifth. Michigan leading 4-3. Wind up and the pitch. That one's a little bit low, going to be a 3-0 count. All three of these pitches have been in the same exact spots, just an inch or two below the zone. And that's the difference between a strikeout right there and a 3-0 count. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a strike one. So right down the middle, called strike. 3-1 count for Andrews, the leadoff hitter. Batting .400 this season. Second on the team, only behind Felder, who's batting .414. However, she's leading the team in home runs. This one is a swing and a line drive right down the first base line, barely foul, and will make the count full. Count is full now as Andrews looking to stay alive. 0 out, 0 runners on. A little bit chilly as the night advances. Here's the pitch. That one's a little bit high and a little bit inside, so it will be the second walk surrendered by Jerkowski today. And that's going to send a tying run up to first base as we got Ybarra coming up to the plate, who also already hit a home run. So one swing of the bat here could tie it up if earlier today was any indication. And just like that, the wind starts to pick up and is blowing towards right field. Corners are playing in. Here's the pitch. Wind up. She's stealing, delayed, however, so she inches her way back. Got Carson startled there, but eventually just held on up. Here we go. We got the pitching coach coming on out to Jerkowski, hoping to settle down. I don't think any movement or any replacements will be made at the moment. It's 0 outs with 1 runner on. We got Andrews on first, and it's a 1-0 count. Nebraska has the tying run on first base, a go-ahead run at the plate. No one out yet. Ybarra at the plate. Pitches in, and that'll be ball 2, so now 2-0 count for Ybarra. Jerkowski, after leading with a handful of strikeouts after coming off from the bullpen. And Storako is coming back in. Second time today. I did not expect to see her again after throwing a complete game but getting the loss earlier. This is a bold move by head coach Carol Hutchins. I guess you don't become the winningest coach in collegiate softball history without making some bold moves. So Storako, no outs coming in the bottom of the 5th. Assuming she comes in, she could get the save potentially. It's a little bit odd to think about, but technically a save could be up to 3 innings, and it could be as long as it's within 3 runs. So it's the top of the 5th, so it is within 3 innings. It is within 3 runs, obviously, with the tying run at first base. So interesting that Storako could get the save. She has 0 recorded saves this season. Maybe adding to that potential, don't want to get ahead of myself, but if she keeps it up, she could add to that box score, or at least has the opportunity to do so. And she's throwing some heat coming out of the pen. Wondering how much warming up she had to do after pitching 7 innings already today. Storako's name announced by the PA announcer, and that gets everyone excited. Crowd sticking out in the cold today, bundled up. I'm looking around. I see so many different blankets. Probably could count more blankets than faces, honestly, at this point. I can't blame them. It's freezing. I'm excited to be inside now. Storako in. Pitch is in. That's going to be a ball. So 3-0 count. Storako did come in middle of the batter. Came in with the 2-0 count. Now it's 3-0 to Ybarra. She is the go-ahead run. Storako has a 1.14 ERA and 86.1 innings pitched this season. 13-2 record. Here's a pitch. This one's high, and that'll be a walk. So I don't know how you would credit this. I guess technically it is Storako's walk, but it was 50% of the effort came earlier from Jerkowski. So now runners on first and second, no outs. We got Gray up to the plate. She's 0 for 2 on the day. And we do have a pinch runner coming in as well. Number 14 for Nebraska. Armendariz is up, the sophomore. Gonna pinch run. So a little bit of a substitution in that respect too. And now Sydney Gray is up to the plate. 2 runners on, nobody out. Michigan leading by 1 in this softball matchup. Here's the pitch. A little bit of a jump steal, and that's going to be a strike 1. Fast and low. Called strike looking. Sydney Gray, so far she has a strikeout and a line out today, yet to get a hit in this second game of the doubleheader. Had what eventually became the winning run earlier. Second one's hit, and this is a pop to the fence, and it's over. Same exact spot. Third one, and this is now a lead for Nebraska. Storako's second batter face giving up a 3-run shot over the fence in right field. So Storako came on in looking to get Michigan out of the jam, and in fact just put them in a bigger hole. Michigan now trailing by 2, trailing for the first time of the day. It is now 6-4, and that does clear the bases. So we have the top 3 batters, the first 3 batters. We got Andrews, we have up second Ybarra, and we got Gray. All 3 of them have a home run to right field in this game. Sirocco wasting no time. That is adding to her earned run average. Only one of those runs is earned, I believe, because the other 2 are not attributed to her. Here's the pitch. Second pitch is a ball, so it's a 1-1 count. So I guess that kind of hurts Jerkowski's ERA too, because she will be credited with those earned runs. So 2-0 count, 2-1 count now. Base is empty with Felder up. No outs still. Sirocco trying to get back under control. Pitch. This one's lined. Tipped off the diving glove of McVeigh. And that will allow Felder to scamper into first base. And Nebraska has all the momentum now. Sirocco pitched earlier, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned for the loss. Now she came in, gave up 3 runs, only 1 of them earned for her, and she's on pace for the loss if this holds up. That would be crucial for her to get 3 losses in the span of 3 days. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one is blasted into right field, not quite enough, getting under its Burkhardt, and that's out number 1. Of the top of the 5th inning here. That was Squire at the plate, swinging for the fences, same exact spot as the others, but just not quite enough oomph to put it over. For Michigan, that's going to be 1 out here in the top of the 5th. 1 runner on base, Felder on first. Glatter comes up to the plate. Lefty on righty action. Pitch 1 is in, and that's a ball. A little bit high on the riser. Glatter has a 197 average, 0 for 1 in this game. She got walked and then flew out. Next pitch is in, and that's fouled up into the air and hits the backstop. Nebraska has scored all of their runs off of home runs. So it has not been small ball. It's been kind of like a Barry Bonds steroid era type game. Sirocco winds up and pitches, and that is a strike. 1-2 count for Glatter. Two-one count, runner on first base with Felder. Here's the windup and the pitch. Line drive down the line, touches first. Looks and thrown to second, but hangs on to it as Eisman. And Eisman hangs on to it, gets the second out of the inning, but advancing is Felder to second base. Bredwell is up at the plate now. She's 1 for 2. She got a single to left field in the second inning. And she flew out to right field in the 4th inning. 294 this season, right around the 300 level mark. First pitch is in, and it's outside, ball 1. Nebraska looking to add to their lead after already taking it earlier. Runner on second, taking a little bit of a jump. Doesn't go anywhere. Pitches in, fouled off. That's going to be a strike. 1-1 count for Bredwell. Michigan is trailing. They're going to need to make something big happen. Here's the windup from Sirocco. The pitch. This one's hit into shallow right, getting under it. Who other than Burkhardt? Her defensive prowess has been showcased today. She's coming into the dugout. So in that inning, Michigan gives up 3 runs on 2 hits, 0 errors, and 1 runner left on base. Michigan trailing by 2 now for the first time of the night. Coming up for Michigan, got the top of the order, so it's Blair, Kirsten, Burkhardt. If anyone's able to get this rally started, retake the lead, it's probably the 3 of them. Coming back out, Courtney Wallace. After that scare, she's coming out for her 5th inning of this game alone, and she had 2 to get the save earlier. So definitely getting the most of her outing so far. We got welcome to alumni, the Reese Puffer High School. I see a crew of some high school age students in the bleachers and right, so I imagine that's them. Always fun to get some school groups coming out to support Michigan athletics. I would imagine some of them might be coming to Michigan as students, depending on what age they are at or what level of high school. So that's always fun. So with 19 seconds remaining on the intermission, Michigan, bottom of the 5th, looking to come back in this one and make something happen after giving up 3 runs on a blast to right field by Sydney Gray in the top of the 5th inning. Here we go. So Lexi Blair coming up to the plate. Lexi Blair has a little bit of a mixed bag so far. Lays down a bunt right down the line, drifts foul, so that's going to be strike 1. Blair, so far, she had a ground out to third rather, and then a strikeout in the 2nd inning. So looking to make a little bit of a difference here and potentially regain the lead. Won't be able to do it on her own, but the tying run is on deck in Kirsten, only down 2. Hutchins is talking with the home plate umpire as we get Blair stepping out and taking a few practice swings. So Blair throws, and that's going to be a ball right down a little bit low. And it's going to be a 1-1 count here. Lexi Blair trying to get Michigan's offense started. He's a leadoff hitter. That's where she excels. Pitches in. That one's high now. So first one was low. Second one was high. It's now a 2-1 count with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Michigan just trying to get some pace, change of pace a little bit. We got a warm-up pitcher in the bullpen. Swing, this goes into left, and diving to catch is Squire. Second diving catch already this game from Squire and left. And that'll be 1 out as Blair returns to the dugout. Kirsten comes on up. Here, Kirsten, 1 for 2 today with a single and a run in the first, but a ground out in the second. Here's the windup and the pitch. Grounder to second. Unable to pull it up is Ybarra. Ricochets off of her, and Michigan will get a run. They call that a hit on the Jumbotron. Guess she did kind of dive into it. A little bit of a scorekeeper's digression on that. And now the team doctor, I presume, is coming on out to look at her. Very hardly hit, very quickly hit, rather. She is limping a little bit, touching her leg, too. Kirsten is on first base now, and we got Burkhardt coming up next. Burkhardt batting a very impressive .437, but 0 for 1 today with a walk and then a ground out to first. And she will stay at second, so Barra. And we're getting a substitution from the Wolverines. Audrey LeClaire, who was a starter last game, she's coming in now. Coming on to first base. Burkhardt looking to try and get this rally going. She is the tying run at the plate. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a little bit high, but they call it a strike. 0-1 count to lead off for Burkhardt. Claire has 6 stolen base attempts, LeClaire, and 5 of them successful. Seeing if she might be moving. Now on the base path, manufacture some runs, I suppose, with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Here it is. Grounder over to first. Throws to second. It's awfully close. They're saying she's out. Just barely in time, so that'll be a fielder's choice for Burkhardt. And we'll send LeClaire back to the dugout just as quickly as she came on out. So with that, 2 outs to the bottom of the 5th inning. So we got Carson coming on up. Had a RBI single in the first and a ground out in the 3rd. Michigan trailing by 2, going to need to have something happen quick if they want to come back and even up this series coming into day 3 tomorrow. Wind up and the pitch. That one's a called strike. 0-1 count. Okay, wind up and the pitch. 0-1 count, swing and a miss, 0-2. Beautiful pitch, change up, and it caught Carson surprise. Unable to do anything with that besides just swing. Runner on first base. Burkhardt, 8 stolen base attempts, 7 of them successful this season. Wind up and the pitch. That one's going to be low for a ball, 1-2 count. Wallace is getting back in the zone, looking to get out of this inning. If she's able to do it, this will be the 4th straight inning without surrendering a run after a rocky first. Wind up and a pitch. This one's back into the net for a foul ball. Here we are, so 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in Ann Arbor at Alumni Field. Game keeps going. Here's the pitch. And that one's high. We got a base runner safely coming in without even sliding his Burkhardt. Rounded second and almost went to third, it looked like. That's going to be 2-2 count now for Carson with 2 outs here and a runner on second, bottom of the 5th. Looking over to the dugout is the pitcher, Courtney Wallace. Finally steps on the rubber. Looks at her wrist now. Rocks on back. Winds up, and here's the pitch. Swing and right to second baseman. It's going to be close over to first for the 3rd out, and that'll do it. This inning, 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 runner left on base for the Wolverines. They trail 6-4 here at Alumni Field heading into the top of the 6th inning. So top of the 6th inning, we got Sirocco still on the mound. Interesting move right there. And I guess it kind of hurts Sirocco's batting or ERA to come in like that. But hopefully under her leadership for the Michigan fans, they won't give up any more runs and stay competitive. But she is on the docket for the loss, which could be her 3rd loss in 3 days from Sirocco. That's awfully impressive, just in general, to be a pitcher record 3 times in 3 days. Not quite as impressive to be the losing pitcher for 3 times in 3 days. Coming up is going to be Neal, the 8-hitter, batting .222 this season, the sophomore lefty, coming up to the plate for Nebraska. Crowd is starting to thin out a little bit as it's getting cold and late. A win today for Nebraska, assuming the result holds, will clinch the series. It's a 3-game series originally scheduled for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but now it's pushed off 2 on Saturday, doubleheader. This is game 2. And then there was one yesterday, or one tomorrow, rather, at 2 p.m., which WCBN also is going to be covering. So with that, Neal steps into the batter's box and Sirocco prepares to duo. We got the righty-lefty matchup with Neal the lefty and Sirocco the righty. Here's a pitch. This one's hit high into center field, getting under its blare, makes the out. So 1 pitch, 1 out. And Neal's going to go to the dugout just as quickly as she came out. 1 out here, no one on. Leading by 2. In the top of the 6th inning, we got Nebraska. Courtney Wallace, the pitcher's up at the plate. Batting .306 this season, including a home run. Here's the pitch. This runs a line drive to second. Diving for it, gets up. Can't throw it in time is Kirsten. And that'll be, I believe, a hit. Yeah. Because she did dive for it. She stopped the ball and kept it from going to the outfield, but just unable to maintain it and get it up and throw. We're going to have a pinch runner now for Wallace, the pitcher. Let's see who comes on out. So Nebraska is making a pinch runner. Wallace, the pitcher, is coming on out. Then coming on in, we got Brooke Andrews, the junior infielder, is coming out to run. So 1 out here, 1 runner on in the top of the 6th. The ace Sirocco's back on the mound once again. Bunt laid down, went foul. So this is pretty funny. We got Brooke Andrews on first base pinch running. We got Billy Andrews at the plate swinging. Here's a pitch. It's going to be a ball, 1-1. So we got the 2 B Andrews both on the diamond right now for Nebraska. I was wondering why in the stat website it said B.I. Andrews. Normally it's just B if there's multiple players. But I guess not if both of them have the same initial, too. Pitches in, and that's a changeup for a strike. 1-2 count for Billy Andrews at the plate. 1 out here, 1 runner on. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and foul back into the backstop. Gonna keep the count at 1-2. So Sirocco trying to get this out right here. 1-2. 1 runner on, 1 out. And here's the pitch. Wind up. And that's going to be a ball. 2-2 count now. Michigan's faithful is awfully cold and bundled up, it looks like, just scanning the crowd a little bit. Nebraska's dugout, however, they're getting loud. Wind up and the pitch. 2-2. Swing up to second. Steps on second. Unable to throw, but heads up play by the second baseman, Kirsten. Hit to McVeigh. She fumbles it, but Kirsten's there to get the recovery. And it looks like she is a little bit bumped up after that one. Line drive, and it hit right off her. Went off McVeigh, and we got the coach and the medical staff coming on out, but she looks like she's okay. She goes back to second. So with that, they replace one B Andrew at first with another B Andrew at first, as that is a fielder's choice technically, with Andrews taking the base. Billy Andrews, rather, taking the base. Got Ybarra coming up as a home run in the second and a walk in the fifth. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss, stealing, throws, can't hang on, and that'll be a stolen base from Billy Andrews. That is her 8th stolen base, only caught once all season. Heads up play by the catcher, Carson, just unable to hang on to it as McVeigh and apply the tag in time. So 1 strike and no balls here with 2 outs and a runner on second in the top of the 6th. Wind up pitch. That's going to be outside. We got a 1-1 count here with 2 outs now. Sirocco trying to maintain composure here, get the team out without giving up any runs. Wind up pitch. That's going to be a called strike, so 1-2 with the changeup. One and two, 2 outs and a runner on second. Sirocco looks at her wrist. Now stares down home plate. Winds up, throws. Foul, goes up in the air, and it will go foul right above the press box for that one. And with that, it's going to be a 1-2 count still with a runner on second and 2 outs, so not much has changed. Wind up and the pitch. Liner to second base. Going to pick it up, throw a little bit too late. She'll be safe. And heads up play. Andrews scores from second all the way home without even looking. Wow. Heads up play by Billy Andrews. It's now 7-4. And they're going to call that an error on Kirsten. So Ybarra reaches base. It won't be a hit for her. It will be an error, but she will get the RBI. Wind up and the pitch. That's going to be called strike. So it's now 7-4. It's now a 3-run ball game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 for Sydney Gray. Fastball right down the middle, and Gray had no answer to that. It's beginning to rain now as we see people pull out their umbrellas and their ponchos. Swing, and that one hits the backstop. So 0-2 count now for Sydney Gray with a runner on first base. Nebraska got 1 run already this inning, and they're looking to expand that. It's a 3-run ball game. Momentum, ever since the first inning, the momentum's been completely in Nebraska's court, both on offense and defense. We got the third baseman, Taylor Bump, coming out to the circle, talking to Sirocco. Less than ideal situation for Sirocco in this outing. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, fouled back. Still going to remain 0-2 here for Sydney Gray with Ybarra at first base now. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fouled off down the third base line. It's going to still remain 0-2 with 2 outs here and runner on first base. With a win here, assuming the result holds for Nebraska, they will clinch the series against Michigan, which is incredibly tough on the road. Last time Michigan lost 2 at home was quite a while back. I don't even know if they've lost 3 at home in a while. Fastball high and away, swing and a miss, and that'll be a strikeout for Sirocco. So there we go. Cleaning the bases, middle of the 6th, 7-4. Coming up next, we got Essman, Livingston, and Bump. Trailing by 3 for the Wolverines. It's going to be tough, but not quite out of it just yet. Nebraska's looked really good today. And Michigan is staring down the potential to maybe fall to 0-2 to lead off Big Ten play. The rain continues to come on down a little bit outside. See, it's supposed to drizzle for the next 11 hours until 10 a.m., so congrats, everyone. And it's supposed to turn into snow starting at 2 a.m. So I'll be curious to see if there's any changes with tomorrow's game weather-related. It's supposed to finish by 10 a.m., but depending on if they could clear out the field in time, get a tarpaulin on tonight, they probably should be fine. So with that, who else other than Courtney Wallace coming back out for the bottom of the 6th? At this rate, I would be pretty surprised if she doesn't at least try and get the complete game. Because ever since that first inning, she's completely had Michigan's number. There we go. Coming up to the plate, it's Essman, Livingston, followed by Bump. Trying to make something happen unless there's going to be any substitutions here. Michigan trailing by 3. I'd be curious when the last time, I don't have the stats ahead of me. It's just me on the call, so I can't look it up. But last time Michigan has lost the doubleheader, both ends, at home. I would be shocked if it's happened this past decade, to be completely honest. They rarely ever lose at home. They rarely ever lose 2 at home. And for a doubleheader, 2 in a row, it's a shock. Pitch is in, it's low, but she swings at it. 0-1 count for Essman. The wind and the rain continue to come on down. We got some umbrellas out in the crowd and some ponchos. Wallace throws, swing and a miss, strike 2 for Essman. Essman this season, she is batting a .314 with 16 strikeouts. Does have 3 home runs, however. Might be tough with the rain to get the ball out of the confines of the ballpark. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a ball, 1-2, as it's slightly outside. Wallace gets the ball back in the circle. Steps back and throws. And there it is, right up the middle to Andrews, throws on over to Felder, and that'll be an out. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 up, 1 down. Coming up to the plate, we got Livingston batting 1 for 2 today and .385 on the season. To be completely honest, for the listeners, do not envy walking home in this. But with the rain continuing to come on down here, Wallace throws. It's going to be low and outside. Ball 1 for Livingston. Base is empty now. Here's the pitch. Lined foul into the dugout of Nebraska. Scoops it up. It is now a 1-1 count for Livingston here with 1 out and no one on. in the circle right now, checking the wrist, wind up in the pitch from Wallace. That's going to be a ball 2-1 now. Livingston is batting .385 this season, but that's only on 26 at-bats. Wind up and the pitch. This is fouled off down the third base line. So it's going to be a 2-2 count now with one out. Livingston looking to get something started. Taking her time, stepping out of the box is Livingston. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's going to bounce into the catcher. So ball 3, it's a full count. You know it's cold out when you see the players breathe into their hands and you can like see the breath. It's awfully cold. So tomorrow Michigan is playing Nebraska for the final game in this homestand. And then they'll play next Tuesday against Bowling Green and then go on the road to face off against Northwestern. Full count. Here's the pitch. Fouled off into the third base side. She's been early on it all at bat from Livingston. Next weekend, Michigan's football team is playing their spring game. So we will be covering that on WCBN. Here's the pitch. It's hit into right field, finds a gap between second and first baseman. And that is a huge hit by Livingston here in the bottom of the 6th. So now coming up to the plate, we got Bump. Bump is talking to Coach Hutchins for a moment. The umpires to come on out and get them to move things along. It is 4-7. Michigan trailing as the wind and the rain just gets harder and harder out here. A couple of umbrellas, and you see a lot of folks kind of scurrying up under the overhang in the bleachers. First ball is in, and it's a ball down low, 1-0 count. Runner on first base is Livingston. No stolen base attempts this season. Next pitch is in. That's a called strike, 1-1. So Courtney Wallace is attempting to potentially get out of this inning and get her 6th straight. Here's the pitch. Swing and a hit right to shortstop. Catches it, throws to first a little bit late, but incredible play by Andrews at short. Catches it on the fly and without missing a beat, throws to first. Able to scurry back is Livingston, but that will make it 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. So there we go. I think we might have a substitution here. We got Sealer scheduled to come up to the plate, but Hutchins is talking to the first base coach as well about whether they should make a change. Sealer, if she does come up, she'll have a 154 batting average. But let's see. Conferring now with the umpire about any changes. I'd be curious to see what she lands on. And that's going to be a substitution. So Wedra comes on in. The freshman, we saw her in the first game a little bit. Michigan has 1 runner on, so the tying run is on deck. with Livingston on first. Not much of a base running threat. No stolen base attempts even this season. In the circle now is Wallace, preparing to finish out this inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a dribbler down first, just barely foul. That'll be strike one for Wydra. Steps out of the batter's box for a moment. 0-1 count here in the circle. You got Courtney Wallace. Wind up and the pitch. That's going to be a little bit low, make it a 1-1. 2 outs here. Checking her wrist, goes for a throw. This one hits off her shoulder, and she will take first base on that one. Oh, it looks like it hit her hand, too, so she's shaking that one off. She seems like she's in pain right now, but she will be on first base as we get McVeigh coming to the plate. The freshman batting .296 right now. I wonder if they will get a pinch runner. So the umpires are now all discussing what might be going on. And I think the question is, I don't know, they were discussing if it may be tipped off her bat at first, but I guess not, because she will be on first. So 2 outs, 2 runners on, a little bit of confusion. Widra with Livingston. McVeigh comes up. She had a ground out in the second and her only at bat so far. Here's the pitch. Running forward, doesn't even swing, called strike. Up next, we got the top of the order, if it makes it that far. 0-1 count here with 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 5th, or bottom of the 6th, rather. Batting .296. McVeigh, here's the pitch. And another called strike. She did not like that call. She looked back at the home plate umpire. 0-2 count now, so falling behind for the Wolverines is McVeigh. Runners on first and second. Tying run at the plate. One swing of the bat could do it. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off into the right third base sideline. Going to hold the count at 0-2 now. Here's the pitch coming up from McVeigh, or from Wallace to McVeigh. Showing button, here's the pitch, and that's going to be a ball. 1-2 count here with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Bottom of the 6th. McVeigh at the plate. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be another take, and I think it's going to be a ball. 2-2 now. Awfully close. Bat has yet to leave McVeigh's shoulder this at bat. Two runners on, 2 outs, 2 balls, and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Bounces, throws to first, and gets it. So that'll be out number 3 as McVeigh tries to steal a base off of that one, off the drop third strike. But it's no success. And at the end of the 6th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base as we go into the top of the 7th. Michigan still trailing 7-4. Down 3. We got a new pitcher back in. Rather, we got the same pitcher back in from earlier. So we've seen her not only earlier today, but in this exact game. So as a pitcher recap, we got Beaubien came in, threw a couple of innings, gave up some runs. Got Durkowski who came in, did well for a couple of innings, but then loaded the bases. Got Sirocco back in, pitched and gave up a home run to give up the lead. And then now finally we got back to the starter here in the 7th. It's been like all around, top of the 7th. Nebraska, they don't even need any runs, but I'm sure they'd love the insurance here. So Beaubien is looking to try and recover from her earlier performance. She pitched 2 innings and gave up 3 runs. And with that, the infield comes and huddles up. Up for Nebraska, we got Felder. Felder has a single in the 1st and the 5th. And she was stranded on 2nd in the 5th inning, but she did score in the 2nd inning. Sorry. Single in the 2nd and the 5th, not 1st and the 5th. She scored in the 2nd, but then stranded in the 5th. Here we go. Beaubien is back in, looking to maybe keep this game manageable. Winding up. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be low and skip into the catcher. Beaubien, in her initial outing, she had 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs given up, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. So a decent outing, but kind of pulled early. Now she's back in for the 7th. Here's the pitch. Going to be a strike, 1-1 to Felder. We have number 44, Kinney, running to the bullpen. For Nebraska, I have a feeling she might come in for the save attempt. They are up 3. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, fouled back. It's going to be 0-2 count now. Cornhuskers looking to win, hang on to the lead, and win the series. Would be huge. Looking at her wrist is Beaubien. Step back pitch, swing and a miss, drops it but tags it. 1 out here, another strikeout, and that fires out the Michigan defense. That is Beaubien's 3rd strikeout of the game now. So interesting that she came out for 5 innings and then hops back on in. 1 out now with Squire. She has a single in the 2nd inning and then a line out to right field twice in the 3rd and 5th. First pitch is in. That's a ball. So we got Squire at the plate. Corners playing in, middle of the infield playing deep. Bottom of the 7th, here's the pitch, 1 out, swing and fouled off. It'll make it 1-1. Nebraska looking to hang on and secure the season or series win. Checking her wrist is Beaubien. Steps back, throws, and that is going to be a called strike. 1-2 now with 1 out here. Michigan's crowd has been awfully quiet. The crowd that has stayed. A lot of folks went home after it started raining. But still a decent amount, probably about 250 or 300 fans. Here's the pitch, throw, dribbled down the 3rd baseline, scooped up by Bump, throws over to Eastman, and that is out number 2. As Michigan is finally back in the routine here, it might be too little too late if the offense can't provide any support, however. Top of the 7th. Coming up next, Number 13 is Gladder. She's batting 194, 0 for 2 on the day, but with a walk. Pitch one is in, skips in, hits off the umpire, but she signals that she's okay. There will be a game tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll be covering that one too here from Alumni, so tune into WCBN. There's the windup and the pitch. That one's going to be a little bit low. 2-0 count here for Gladder. Gladder already has a walk today, looking to get another one. Top of the 7th, 2 outs, 2 balls, no strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off against the backstop. 2-1 count. We got in the circle. Bobian, she started the game in the circle, and she's hoping to finish it there. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a high riser, 3-1 ball. Coming up next, it is 2 outs. We got Blair, Kirsten, and Burkhart. So the top of the order, exactly who you want coming up. Here's the windup and the pitch, 3-1 count, swung on, fouled off, same exact spot as that first strike. Gladder trying to stay alive here with a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Michigan trying to get out of here so they could focus on putting up run support themselves. Wind up, here's a pitch. Swing and fouled off once again, right off the backstop, same exact spot. So there we go, 3-2 count for Gladder, 2 outs, no runners on. Bobian trying to get out of this quickly as possible. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one is dribbled over to second baseman. Livingston picks it up, throws it, and that'll be out number 3. So there you go. Michigan has 3 more outs to potentially tie this one up and salvage the series. If not, Nebraska will win this series in a doubleheader win at home in Alumni Field. It's been a while since Michigan has lost 2 at home. I think it's been even longer since they've lost 3 in a row at home. But unless Michigan gets a late 7th inning rally down by 3, looks like it might happen. Coming up is the top of the order, however, so you, as Michigan fans, you would want those 3. It's Blair, Kirsten, Burkhart. But you're down 3, which is a lot to come back from. Coming up to the mound for now is Courtney Wallace. We had Caitlin Kinney in the pen warming up. I'd be curious to see how quickly they make the call or try to get Wallace to finish out this game. Had a rocky bottom of the first, giving up 4 runs on 4 hits. But since then, she's only given up 2 hits total and no runs. So she has certainly gotten in the groove. She's currently the pitcher of record, who would be charged with a win if she's able to get these final 3 outs. Wallace already got a save earlier, so to add on a complete game victory would be huge for her. Nebraska looking to win the series tonight, making tomorrow's game irrelevant for the series winner, I suppose. 10 seconds left in the intermission, and we're going to return to play, starting with Lexi Blair. Blair steps in the batter's box. 3 outs away. trying to come back and win this potentially for the Wolverines. The crowd is getting loud. Here's the pitch. Going to be a high ball, 1-0 count. In the circle again, looking towards the dugout. Checking her wrist now is Courtney. Throws. That's going to be a strike called on the inner half of the plate. It's now a 1-1 count with 0 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. I have a feeling Nebraska might be ranked after this one, especially if they get 2 wins against Michigan, on the road especially. Pitches in, that's a ball, 2-1 count. Blair steps out for a moment, gets back in. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on right up the middle to the shortstop. Andrews throws over to first for the 1 out here as Blair returns to the dugout. 2 outs left for Nebraska to win this game and win the doubleheader, both sides of it. Kirsten comes up to the plate with 1 out. Wallace is looking phenomenal since the first inning, hoping to get the complete game win here if she's able to hang on to it. Wind up and the pitch. That's going to be a called strike right down the middle with a changeup. 0-1 count for Kirsten. She's batting .347, has 2 singles in the first and the 5th inning so far. Here's a pitch. It's going to bounce on in, and it'll make it a 1-1 count. This is Michigan's first game at a Big Ten game, rather, of the season, and so far they have yet to win one, and unless they get a rally, they won't get the second one either. Pitches in, and it's a called strike down low. 1-2 now. One out, 2 strikes, and 1 ball here. Kirsten for the windup and the pitch. Fouled off, going to be 1-2, but she'll live to fight another day. So Kirsten trying to stay alive and keep the team's hopes alive with 1 out here. Could be down to the last out after this pitch. Stepping back, checking her wrist now. Courtney Wallace, here's the pitch. That's going to be a dribbler to second base. Ybarra picks it up, throws it over to first. Another out, 2 down now, and Michigan is down to their last batter potentially. It's number 23. Who else would you want? Rather than Burkhardt, she has a walk, but then 2 outs in this game, 0 for 2. She is batting .432. Quite impressive, so she is the person you want. No home runs, though, more of a contact hitter. Pitch 1 is in and a called strike. She did not even flinch or get that off of her shoulders. Checking over is Wallace, trying to finish up this complete game victory. Here's a pitch. That's going to be a little bit low and a ball. So 1-1 for Burkhardt. Burkhardt, in addition to her dominance at the plate this season, she has looked very good in right field, getting some plays today. Unfortunately, she also had some plays over her head that went into the stands. Not much she could do about that. Here's a pitch, grounder to second base, scoops it up, tosses, and that will be all she wrote. Michigan is losing both ends of this doubleheader. Final score 7-4. Michigan got an early lead in the first inning, but unable to do anything else offensively after that. And now Michigan goes into Game 3 of this series and unable to win it, losing 2 straight at home, On the season, they're falling to 18-9 and 0-2 in the Big Ten. And then Nebraska, on the other hand, they will rise rather to 21-9 and 2-0 in the Big Ten. So I have a feeling Michigan, unfortunately, might be unranked after this week. 3 straight losses, all at home. Not going to look good in the eyes of the committee. But with that, thank you for tuning in to WCBN. It's been a real pleasure. I'll be back here tomorrow, Alumni Field. Michigan looking to salvage this final game of the series. But with that, I wish everyone a good night and a Go Blue.